Today, you're going to learn how to center this kind of bluish teal element in the center of this overall surrounding box here. In other words, you're going to learn my two favorite ways to center an element using CSS. And these are going to be two very straightforward, easy ways to do this. So if we go back and we look at the code here, I basically have just an HTML page with two divs. One is a div with an ID of outer box, and one is the div with an ID of inner box. So outer box, inner box. And then in my CSS, my outer box, I just set a border, a width and a height on it to make it a little bit larger. And then the inner box is where I set the color and a width and height of 100 pixels. So that is giving me just this output here. But our goal is to move this teal box in the middle of this outer box here. So the first way that we can do this here is using Flexbox. So I can set this to display flex. And what that's going to do is it's going to make my outer box a flex container. And now my inner box is now going to be a flex child of my flex container here. And then to center this, all I need to do is set justify content to center and then align items to center. And if I go back here, you're going to see that this box is now centered. So that is one way that you can center things or center elements using CSS, and that is using Flexbox. So let me kind of remove this code here and return it to its original state. So now you can see it's uncentered. And now we can go to a different way of doing this, and that is using display grid. And if you want to maximize your dollars per lines of code written, this might be an even better way compared to the last way we did this. So here we can set this to display grid. And then all we need to do is do place items center. And that is going to make the outer box an overall grid. And it's going to place all the items within the outer box in the center. And as we can see, we get the same effect. Now, as a little bit of a bonus here, what if we wanted to place this outer box in the center of my entire web page here? Well, one way that we could do this is I could maybe add another div here, and this could be my kind of container div to wrap around everything. And let's give it an ID of container. And then if I go back to my CSS here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say hashtag container. And then I'm going to make sure that my container is the full width and height of my web page. So I'm going to say width is going to be 100 viewport width units. And then my height is going to be 100 VH. And then all I need to do is the same thing. If I do display grid and place item center, what I should see here, if I didn't mess anything up, is now my outer box is now centered within my entire page. So this can be a nice way to just center things within your page. So quick recap, you can set your container as display grid and place item center to center everything, all the child elements within it to the complete center of that containing box that you set display grid for. Or you could use display flex and then set align items and justify content to center elements on your web page. And those are my two favorite ways to center elements within CSS.